All right, what's up, guys? Here on another episode of Eli and Mike on our podcast here in Beverly Hills. We have our amazing friend here, Lisa Azuelos. How are you, Lisa?
I'm great. How are you? I'm gonna do this too.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
right.
I like that. Oh, did you just do that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
he does do that a lot.
Love
Yeah.
it. Thank you for being here with us.
Yeah,
So
thank you for
excited.
having me. It's my
Oh my
first
God.
American podcast.
Oh my God.
Okay,
thank
we
you.
are
So
very flattered.
excited. Oh my
Very,
God,
very
honored.
American of you, for sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
Thank you. Love it.
And talking about American, are you American?
I wish.
Oh my
gosh.
God.
I wish I was, honestly.
Oh my
I don't know why. This morning I was still saying, I don't know what it is with me and America, but I love America so much.
Oh my gosh.
And I know not a lot of French people say that, but for me, when I'm here, I feel this is my home.
Oh my
And I
Wow.
have no reason why. I just love America.
Wow,
God.
thank you.
That like gave me the chills. Like
Yeah.
alone, like I can feel it from you that this is
Yeah,
your
that's
place.
so true. But I can't explain it. That's the
Mhm,
real
mhm.
thing.
Wow, I love that.
I
I would say I
yeah.
feel the same way too. Being here in Beverly Hills, I come from like a desert town, and but just being here, I don't know how to explain it. It just is the best feeling ever. So I definitely connect with you on that.
Oh.
Yes, I love that.
And Lisa, coming from France,
Yeah.
were you born and raised in France?
So the funny thing is, I discovered something being in America because you never say where you were you born. In France, you ask where were you born, and that's it.
Okay.
Here, you say and raised. So I was born in France. I was born in Paris.
Oh wow.
But then when an American asked me like 15 years ago, where were you raised? Then I was like, and I realized I wasn't raised.
Ah,
I raised
see.
myself.
Oh wow.
Got it.
Because I was in a boarding school from 0 to 8.
Really?
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I was like, that
Oh,
was
zero. Like
yeah, I know.
literally.
So
Oh my
that's maybe
goodness.
that's the worst thing of
Okay.
my life, but it's
And-
so I don't remember being raised somewhere because I was always different boarding school with different
wow.
people,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't have like a
Yes.
home in my memory until I'm 8.
Oh,
Got it.
wow.
So then it's Paris.
Oh wow. And
It-
can we talk to you about the boarding school? Is that something we can
you
open
can.
up about?
You can.
So boarding school, is this somewhere where your parents were not involved?
No,
This
no,
is-
they're no. That's the. They were like, get rid of that kid.
Oh,
I mean,
got
thank
it.
God I was with my little brother.
Okay.
So I was like taking care of my little brother too.
Mm.
So I was like a little girl and a mom, both.
Okay.
I was
Wow.
like
Wow.
that was, and unfortunately, one of the boarding school were like torture
Really?
place. Yeah,
Really?
Oh my goodness.
yeah, that was
We-
you didn't expect that.
No.
I'm from
Like,
a Parisian. It's not Emily
yeah.
in Paris. Huh?
I'm like,
But-
oh my
and-
goodness.
but
'cause
that
we hear
wasn't-
about this.
But that wasn't in America. That was
No,
out.
that was in Geneva. That not Geneva. That was in Verbier, which is a place in Switzerland.
Okay.
And we discovered after they did terrible things to a lot of kids. I mean, we were not the only ones,
Mhm.
but we were like little tortured kid by
Wow.
crazy people who
Oh
took
my
money from
goodness.
rich people. Because my mom was a star in France, and
Oh,
they
wow.
they kind of didn't know this was not a place
Happening.
to have the kids there.
Right.
But it happens that this place was
Mhm.
really weird and creepy and horrible.
Wow. Oh my
Wow.
goodness, this definitely sounds horrible. We have a friend, Paris Hilton, who is
Yeah.
somebody who advocates for this type of thing. Tries to shut down certain places that are still doing this today.
Today, yeah,
And
I mean, in Switzerland, it was until like 1985 or something.
Wow, oh my
and it's
goodness.
crazy. And I
Mhm.
mean, there's been so many boarding schools for people, for Native Americans here and in Canada. And I mean, we heard all the stories and shit.
Mhm.
And I'm not comparing, but I feel for all those kids
Mm-hmm.
who are like without their parents. They don't know what the fuck they're doing here.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you can't explain anything. Thank God, trauma also erase memory. So
Oh
Wow.
my goodness, wow.
Be-
I
being-
understand that.
I mean, being an adult now, how do you find yourself looking at the past? Like, do you feel like it's helped progress where you're at now because you see things on a different perspective?
yeah, I mean, for me, past and future are a construction. Only exists the present. I mean, because of course, I went into a lot of spirituality and I
Mhm.
studied I was Catholic, Jewish, and Buddhist. So
Wow.
Okay.
I know a lot about religion.
Yeah.
And
You tried them all.
finally,
Mhm.
my religion is presence.
Wow.
There is absence and presence is real religion because presence is how you gonna love your life right now.
Mm.
So it's been a work for me. It's been a journey for sure, because when you come from a torture place as a kid. Then you have to
Yes.
raise yourself. Then you have to cope with parents you don't know who are a little bit
Right.
crazy because they, obviously they're a little bit crazy, but
Of
also they
course.
were trying to do their best. Also, you have to
Yes.
forgive them.
Right.
Also, you have to forgive yourself. I mean,
Oh
all
my
this journey,
goodness.
and that this is mainly why I love America so much. Is I learned so much about
Mm.
transformation
Okay.
and personal transformation in America.
Mhm.
Was that journey something you discovered on your own, or did you
Yeah.
have someone that helped kind of move that?
No, it's funny. I think my destiny is very special. When I was 10 years old, I was at that time with my mom, who was a little
Okay.
bit, she was a movie star and a singer.
Okay.
And I was like realizing, and I see the place, it was in my little room. And I thought, okay, these people, my parents are cuckoo. I must not be like them.
Okay.
I must have a great destiny. I must work on myself as
Wow.
soon as I can.
Wow.
And I
This
was
is at
10 years old.
10.
Yeah, and I decided that I would write
Oh,
and that I
wow.
would work on myself.
Oh my goodness.
And then, I did all the crazy shit you want to do when you're a teenager. And I
Mhm.
kind of forgot about it.
Okay.
But then it came back. When I
Wow.
was 20, I was like, okay, this is the time that I need to take care of myself.
Wow.
And you can literally recall when you're 20 and remembering you saying that to
Yeah.
yourself as a child.
Yeah.
Wow. That
That's,
is touching.
but
oh my goodness.
also what saves me is I don't have so many memories.
Okay.
Got it.
Maybe I didn't recover everything. And,
Right.
I'm like letting my memory, dig that shit
Mhm.
out.
Yes. Yes.
As
Yes.
with its own pace. Not,
Okay.
I'm not forcing it too much.
Got it. Got
You
it.
know.
And that's something great to share
Yeah.
with the audience
Yeah.
because so many people have been through so many different things, something similar to this, and
Yeah.
it's nice that you can share with them your story and tell them, hey, the memories can come back, but
Yeah.
gradually let them come through.
I
and-
also, because a lot of people I hear, do ayahuasca. Personally,
Mhm.
Yes.
I'm very afraid of ayahuasca. I've
Okay.
done amazing psilocybin. You say psilocybin?
Okay. Okay. Is it similar to this?
It's mushroom
Okay.
therapy.
Oh, okay,
of
yes,
course, of
yes.
course. Uh-huh.
And this brought me back to when I was a child,
Oh wow.
when I was a little girl, and I saw myself as a little girl, and I could talk literally to this little girl
Wow.
in the trip. And I
Wow.
realized how hungry, for example, this little
Mhm.
girl was because
Mhm.
they wouldn't feed me so much.
Oh,
And then,
wow.
I have overweight situation, and I'm like, I would like to be thinner and everything. But suddenly after this therapy, I was like, so compassion for this little girl because I touched how hungry I was when I was a kid. So now when I'm like doing stupid thing or
Okay.
overeating or whatever,
Yes.
The American
like-
thing.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
because actually I just drink water and I don't do any processed food. So
Okay.
Amazing.
Good for
but
you.
even that,
Yes.
I can still eat a lot.
There you go. There you go. Yes, there's still options. There's still options.
like super good options.
Yes. I
We're all
love
guilty
that.
of the
I love
same
that.
thing. Trust me.
And since we're still on this topic and it is
Yeah.
a really tough topic, how were you if you can answer this, how were you able to, be this mom at 8, even earlier, being a sister, taking care of your brother and going through these, traumatic times? How were you able to keep your mind strong to get through this? Because a lot of people they're not
Yeah.
able to make it through.
I have studied Buddhism, as I told you, and they were saying that you kind of choose your family.
Mhm.
So I always thought I chose this. I wouldn't understand why. Sometimes I would hate my parents for that. Sometimes I would hate myself more often for that, for who I was, or. But I always had in my mind, I chose this. What is the reason? What is the reason? What is my journey? Why did I choose this family? Why
Mhm.
this happened to me? But never as a victim, but more as a, as a police officer wanting to know, who committed the crime
Mm.
and how can we fix things,
Wow.
I'm more like inquiry than victimizing myself. I want to understand this game,
Wow.
Wow.
the game that's life.
Wow, that's such a
Yeah.
great statement. I mean, there's
my
so many
gosh.
people. Even I can't remember part of my past. 'Cause
Yeah.
I got hit by a car once, and I just can't seem to go backwards
Oh,
anymore.
You can't.
Yeah, it's
like
just
your memory is like protecting you.
it's really weird. But I do get little fragments like you do,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, I think I remember something. But that can touch people's minds. I mean, everybody that watches this stuff, they can capture something like, oh my God, I am knowing what Lisa's going through. And a lot of people in this world, they try to hide it. But
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're kind of letting it kind of just deliver itself and then whatever comes out, you're just going to accept it and live in the
Yeah.
present.
And also, I'm a movie maker. I'm a movie
Yes.
director. So all my life is on the screen because each time I was connecting with a way of healing or a trauma that I overcame, something like that, I made a movie about it.
Wow.
Mhm.
I never made movie to heal, but because I was healed, I was able to do a movie about that period of my time.
Wow, that is so
Wow.
epic.
know.
If I can come up with any word,
Yeah.
that is
So
just
if anybody
epic.
wants to know my life, they can see I have 10 movies now from
Yes. Oh my
25 to
Yes.
59.
Wow,
so,
that's
you know.
powerful.
Oh my goodness.
Wait,
And
wait.
so before we get into this, I love that, so many different things that you do. I think it was just so amazing that you're able to share with us a little bit of your past,
Yeah.
how to overcome it, and truly just
Powerful.
accepting, that
Yeah.
what your life is what it is, and how do you overcome it. And
I didn't always accept. I mean, I had my teenager period. I had the where I was like hiding into alcohol,
Mhm.
sex,
Yes,
drug,
yes, right.
rock and roll,
Uh-huh,
whatever.
yes, exactly.
It was this period when I
Yes.
was, trying to shut down the trauma by, drinking and
Yes.
all these things. But you always have to understand that whatever you do like bad is because something is even worse that you're trying to heal.
Oh my
It's something that
goodness.
you're helping yourself with. So that's why
Wow.
I have a lot of compassion for people who just, can handle situations and
Mhm.
are into drug and
Mhm.
alcohol and all this. But you have to know that it's to numb another suffering. And I was, as I told you, like a police officer. Okay, who suffered? Why? What happened? I was.
Right.
Amazing, amazing. So you
Wow.
you got through your
Oh,
teens, and
yeah.
you at least experienced your teens and all that.
Yeah,
And now you're in your
yeah.
20s, you're recalling your past.
Yeah.
And is this where like the journey started when you were around 20?
Okay, this is, maybe I'm gonna cry because I
Okay,
remember
yes,
something
yes.
right now. I
Yes.
saw coming this road, I saw the yellow Fred Hyman's.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Okay.
it that? The shop? It's yellow. It's at the end of this road.
It's what is it called?
Is it yellow?
I think it was
Um,
Fred Hyman's.
Okay,
I
okay,
Fred
think.
yes.
I mean,
Okay.
I think.
Yes, yes.
It's a shop here,
Mhm.
and it was Pretty Woman time,
Mm,
and I was
yes.
25. And my father, for my 25th birthday, I knew I wanted to be a movie maker, but I didn't know how. So he offered me for my 25th birthday to stay 3 days at the Beverly Wilshire where
Mhm.
Pretty Woman happened because I
Yes.
was
Yes.
crazy about that,
Oh wow.
that movie.
Okay, okay.
And I was doing like a retreat 3 days with Robert McKee, who is one of the biggest screenwriter in Hollywood.
Amazing.
Wow.
Amazing.
So I was staying by myself. I don't know anyone in LA.
Mhm.
I have those 3 days and going to learn how to write a script.
Wow.
And I feel I was sober for like 6 months
Amazing.
because I've been through a hard breakup and everything.
Got it.
And I decided I want to get married. And I get into that shop just here at the corner of your street.
Yes.
I'm 25 and I enter and I say, I'm going to get married. Can I buy something here? Because it was Pretty Woman,
Mhm.
place.
Yes.
When, she got out of the shop and she says, big mistake.
Yes.
All
That,
the-
yeah.
you know?
We all remember
Right,
that
yeah,
one.
pretty
we all
much.
remember now
Right.
when we shop and we have too many bags.
Yes.
You
we have
know,
the
we
song
start
in the
feeling
head.
like
Yeah.
And
love it.
and they say, oh, when are you getting married? I say, I don't know. I haven't found my husband yet, but I know I'm getting married this year.
Oh my gosh.
I was so determined to get
Okay.
married and have kids, age 25, that I entered that shop. I bought the dress. I found the husband, and I got married.
Wait, hold on.
What?
So this
Wait,
is not a
what?
this is
I
a
know.
real game of life story that's actually happened.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Oh my
So you
God.
like
No, but this is how crazy I am.
Okay.
Because it's crazy. I mean, if my daughter was doing that, I would kill her.
Honestly,
Honestly,
Right,
it's
right.
stupid.
But times
Yeah,
are
but-
different though. They're a little
Right.
different now
Okay,
than back
okay.
then.
And so wait, so like how long did it take for like all that from when you got the dress to have
That
your
was-
husband?
My birthday was in November. This is when I did the retreat. And
Okay.
I met my husband in February and I got married in June.
Oh my
Is,
God.
is your husband from here and from America?
No,
or-
but he came here to live here for 10 years. But,
okay.
I actually, I met him and I was like so determined. And so I thought I understood everything and I was so spiritual and proud of
Mhm,
myself,
mhm.
being a Buddhist and everything, And I told him, don't even try to have sex with me. I want to have a husband. I want to have like Amish people, you know,
Mhm.
like
Yes.
I will only have sex if it's for marriage and to have kids
Mhm, mhm.
and blah blah blah.
Yes.
Mhm.
And he said yes, and I was like, wow, God is sending me a sign. This is the
Wow.
good
This is
one.
it.
Yes.
This is
yes.
it.
Okay.
I'm so lucky. I'm the luckiest girl, and I
Right.
don't know him. I mean, it's Monday.
Oh my.
I'm saying this Thursday, and we make love on Saturday.
Oh my.
Oh, so you
You
didn't wait
know?
to get married?
Oh wow.
And I feel I'm pregnant.
Oh,
First time. And I'm like, well, this is a sign. God wants me to get married with this guy and have a kid
No
with this
way.
guy. This is how crazy I am. It happened.
Oh my
okay.
God.
Okay.
But it was, you know, you have to let life happen to you. You can't
Yes.
decide life too much for you.
Mhm.
Wow.
You know, it's this weird game with life
Yeah.
Okay.
that life is happening for you but not to you. And
Mhm.
when
So
you don't
true.
trust life, because I was a trauma kid, I
Mhm.
didn't trust life. I said,
Right.
it's gonna happen the way I want, and I
Yes.
decide this, and this is, which is great because I'm manifesting,
Right.
Yes.
but too much with my will, not enough with my heart and my
Okay.
reason, and
Wow.
you know, it's
Yes. Work.
it's a funny game.
Yes.
And do you feel like when you were at the Wilshire, did you believe that at that moment that's when you became feeling like you would be a director or a producer
Yeah.
of movies? Like what happened in that moment where you're just like, this is what I want to do for a living?
Well, actually, when I think when I did the retreat, when I did the 3 days with Robert McKee, I already did my short movie.
Mhm.
Okay.
Because I did my short movie. It was in the beginning when I was 25, and this was, or 24. And when I did the retreat with him, I was like, wow, I must be very gifted because this is exactly what I did in my movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was like suddenly he confirmed me that I was made for that,
Wow.
you know? But when I did my short movie, the first day I said, okay, action, you know, because you're a director, you're supposed to be the one
Wow.
saying action.
Oh my God. Amazing.
Suddenly I felt like, you know, like in the movie The Ten Commandments,
Uh-huh.
like God is like, this is you.
Oh
And
my
I felt like the light on
Wow.
me, and like,
Oh
and
my
I felt,
God.
this is it. This is what I need to do as
Mm.
as a job. This
Wow.
is me. This is finally I found myself. And because it was so strong that day, I was sure it was me. But then when I went to the, you know, Pretty Woman, Hollywood,
Okay.
Beverly Wilshire,
Uh-huh.
all this happening the same year,
Oh,
I was like,
wow.
okay, this
It
is
really
where,
is.
yeah,
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah.
So then when you came today, because we're on the same street, everyone.
yeah, apparently,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're on
this
the
is-
same street.
literally.
How did you feel when you did you get like some flashbacks? Were you?
You know, it's funny because I told you I just saw the little yellow building.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
just you'll see. Maybe
I've
you
seen-
never.
yeah,
I mean, you live here. Maybe you never noticed it.
We probably haven't
Right,
noticed it.
exactly.
Yeah.
But I know which one you're talking
Yeah.
because it's the yellow one.
Yeah,
so
it's the
yes,
yellow one.
yes, yes.
And I thought I would do my career here.
Mm.
You know, I was like, okay, I love America. I'm learning how to write in English. I had a great English teacher, so I could learn more English. But because I met my husband, then I went back to France and I did all my life as a married woman,
Oh, I see.
being a mother. So I didn't quite go the way I wanted because I really wanted to do movies here,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
And it happened that I did my movies in France.
Got it.
Got it.
Now, you're obviously, we're sitting with you today, and you do so many different lines of work. It's directing, it's producing. I mean, there's
writing.
so many writing and so many different things. So
Yeah.
some people might think like the writer is the producer or the producer is the director, but all of these things are also different, all different lines of work. But you're able to literally be all three, which
Yeah.
is so incredible to us. We were driving here today, and we were just like, how is she able to have the mindset to, you know, run all three of these businesses? Is there any way you could talk to us about that?
The
That's
worst thing is
phenomenal.
being a mother, by the way. This is really when you really need to be focused.
Yes. Oh my
All
God.
those three, easy. Being a
Okay.
mom of 3 kids, another story.
Got it.
okay?
Understood.
And
Oh
I
my
feel
God.
like I am a storyteller, you know, more than producer, author, director, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I am caught by a story or I have a story to tell. And, you know, it's like I always do this image. Imagine you're a runner and you're given in a bowl some water and you need to go from LA to New York with this bowl of water, just
Mhm.
walking.
Mhm.
And the mission is you have to have as much water when you arrive in New York than what you were given in LA. this is a storyteller. This is my mission. So if I have to produce, to direct, to whatever, so that there is enough water when I arrive at the other side of the country, I will do anything for that. Because more than anything, I am a storyteller. I am a story keeper. Am I a story giver?
Wow.
You
Wow.
know,
Wow.
that's my mission.
That is amazing.
And sometimes it's my story of my life. Sometimes it's the story of somebody else's life. And anyway, what I want to say is the story of humanity, mostly about women, because I'm a woman, and this is how, you know, I feel the world. But, you know, my first script that was a success was about 3 men, and I was going through the divorce, and because I was writing those 3 men, then I had compassion for those men. You know, so it's a fun thing.
Wow.
Do your
wow.
you have 3 children, right?
Yeah.
Do your 3 children support your movement, what you're doing?
Yeah. So the small one is an actress.
Amazing.
It's a girl. Then the middle one didn't support at all. It was a guy, and he doesn't want to have nothing to do with mom. And suddenly, he's producing comedy.
Amazing.
And he's
Okay.
helping me with my company, and he
Love
wants to
it.
be a producer.
Hey, shout out to mom, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to mom.
Mom knows best.
Mom
Yeah.
knows best.
And the first one is an amazing DP assistant.
Oh my god, amazing.
And she's also a director, but she sometimes feels she cannot be yet a director, so she'd rather stay with the DP.
Oh,
Love it,
wow.
love it. We're fathers as well, so we know how it is to run businesses and you know the work that you're doing, but also your kids are at home and you have to, how do you involve them? How do you know, keep them in, you know, inspired in what we're doing before, you know, they're younger and they're like, what are you guys doing on film? And recently, kind of like your son, our son has even been like, oh, you guys are having that. Can I go with you guys? And so definitely I would agree with you when it comes to the hard part of
Right.
work
Yeah.
is being a parent.
Yeah.
It really is.
That's,
Yeah.
you know,
This
we're
is where you
struggling.
can't lie.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't
Right.
pretend you're so great
Exactly.
because you're gonna be shitty half of the day.
Yeah.
You're gonna say
Yes.
things you didn't want to say.
Right.
You're gonna eat things you didn't want to
Mhm.
eat. You're gonna
Right.
prepare a bad meal, or you're gonna
Yes.
have no time for preparing. I mean, you're gonna disappoint yourself every day, but
Mhm.
you're also gonna feel like a hero.
Exactly.
Wow.
So it's
Exactly. That is right on
I love
point,
that.
right
That's
on
so
point.
true.
yeah.
So you'll also have I believe you have a production company,
Yeah.
and I'm hoping I'm going to say this correct. Beth Sabi Mucho.
So it's not Betsabe Mucho anymore. It's called
Oh.
Love is in the Air.
Love is in the air.
Yeah, because
Okay.
when you do it, it's Lisa.
Oh my God. Love
Oh
it.
yeah.
acronym is-
Oh my God, that's
yeah.
right.
And
Oh
it
my
was
God.
my father's favorite song.
Okay. Okay. There
So
you go.
that's why I
Love
called it
it.
Ah,
Love is
that's
in
so
the Air.
amazing.
And Betsabe Mucho, my great grandmother name was Betsabe.
Okay.
So it's not Besabe Mucho, which is in Espanol means kiss me
Kiss
more.
me more. Yeah.
But Betsabe is the name of my grandmother. And so I played with the word Betsabe Mucho. So
Wow, I love
Oh,
that.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
What was there a reason why you gave it that name? Was there a very strong link with you and your grandma?
Yeah. So I was very linked to my grandma and to the great grandmother, the
Mhm.
mother.
Yes.
The grandma.
That's the name.
Yeah, I think it's great grandmother.
Yes.
Great grandma.
Yes.
whatever.
Yes.
And yeah, her name was Betsabe, and my name is Betsabe also.
Oh,
I was
okay.
given that like as a fourth name.
Mm-hmm.
This is like my Jewish name from my father's side.
Amazing.
So my father's name is Judah, and my mother's name is Mary. So
Okay.
it was a very contradictory family. I've been very, very Catholic, very, very Jewish. Then I chose Buddhism,
Buddha.
and then finally I chose myself.
You
Oh
chose
my
present.
No,
gosh.
I chose
The
presence.
present.
Yeah.
I chose God in the large way.
Wow,
You know,
this
'cause-
is honestly one of the first times we've heard this like on our podcast, which is so amazing. We talk about all different type of religions, but living in the present, this type of religion is just so powerful. When you talk about it, I get the chills. I mean,
yeah, because it's, you know, what else?
Mhm.
We have, you
Oh
know,
my
it's George
gosh.
Clooney in France. He's doing some advertising for Nespresso, and he has this cup of Nespresso, and he says, "What else?" And you know, what else than presence?
Absolutely.
Nothing.
Oh my goodness!
Mhm.
Wow, so true. So, and you know, having these production companies, you were stating that you did most of your movies in France, Paris. What would you say the difference is from, you know, having to work out there, produce movies out there, than producing them out here? Because I know, fast forward into time, you did some really amazing movies out here with like Miley Cyrus and Demi Moore.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys seen it, the movies LOL. came
Yeah.
out in like 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this was a extremely major movie. I
So
mean,
good.
I even remember seeing all of the ads for it, and I was like, oh my god, Miley Cyrus is making a film, and you were the one directing it right
Yeah.
behind, telling them what to know you did it wrong type thing. What would you say the difference is from working out there than working in America?
That's what's fascinating about movie, whether it's a big movie or a small movie. I mean, you have more money, you have bigger stars, but at the end of the day, you're just telling a story. And you need to remember that you're only telling a story. It's not nothing, but it's not extraordinary. You're
Right.
just telling a story,
Wow.
but you're going to do it the best way you can. And there's not a lot of difference. I think American men are much nicer than French men.
Okay.
So that was mainly the difference because,
Okay.
Got it.
there's a lot of men in a crew helping with like the cameras and the grip and the lights and everything.
Yes.
And they were like, are you okay? Do you want any help? And, I was very tired at that time. So they would, always make me a little bed somewhere. This is for you to rest if you need any rest.
Love
And I
it.
thought they were those big, strong guys, with trucks and stuff. And they were so sweet to me.
Oh, I
In
love that.
France, people can get very cynical or very, especially before Me Too, very like sexually bizarre or whatever. But here, and it was before Me Too, and I must say, all those men were helping me so much.
Wow. Wow.
Working, making this movie great.
Wow.
Also, I was with two enormous big stars.
Yes.
And we were shooting in Detroit when Detroit was not trendy at all.
Oh,
It was
wow.
like really
real bad.
real bad.
Real bad.
But I had such a love for this city
Wow.
because it was so desperate, but there was a beauty about it. And at the beginning, I was depressed, and then at the end, I was crying. I was leaving Detroit.
No
So
way.
it's
Wow.
this is why I say I love America, because I love, of course, LA and New York, but
Mhm.
not New York so much, but
But
but I went to Detroit, and I went to Detroit when it wasn't fancy, and it's still
Yes.
not so fancy, I
Right.
think. But I was with those two stars, so happy to not be in Hollywood, so free to be there. So we had such a free moment with Americans, and Americans know how to party, how to enjoy, how to get the best out of every moment.
Right.
There is something, I mean, in France we say cinema, here you say entertainment.
Okay.
And it's entertainment all the time. It's
Yes.
entertaining.
Love
Yes.
This is what I love, because
Yes.
life is an entertainment also,
Yes.
Right.
Right.
And you remember this here.
Oh my god, I love
Do
that.
Do you recall? And this might be a hard question for you, but do you recall the top 3 movies you've directed or produced that maybe are on the top of your mind?
Oh,
And they might be your top because some people might think, their top 3
Yeah.
different than yours.
well, definitely LOL, it changed
Oh,
my
yes.
life, because I
Wow.
did the French and the American version.
Oh my
I
Okay.
did both.
And actually,
Wonderful.
before you move on to the next two, was LOL kind of a reference to your life as well? Because you
Yeah,
said,
of course. It's
Wow.
even written
Oh my
based on a true story.
gosh.
I mean, it was funny to
I
say
didn't
that.
know that.
Okay.
Because
Oh
it
my
was just
gosh.
the story. Usually it's based on a true story, and
Uh-huh.
it's like the story of a president. Or
Yes.
it was just the story of a mom trying to raise 3 kids.
Oh my god.
That's why it was funny.
Wow.
I'm
because
gonna
I
cry
said,
now. I'm gonna cry now. Oh
I
my
said
gosh.
it's based on a true story because it was the story of just a mom.
Wow.
But this is never considered that should be quoted based on a true story, because it didn't
Mhm.
happen anything else than I'm a mom, single mom trying to raise 3 kids.
Wow.
But
Wow.
this is a true story also. This should be told. This should
Yes.
be
Yes.
given to the world.
Right.
That going through the teenage years of your kids, when you think you're still a teenager sometime, is weird.
Mhm.
And LOL was a huge success in
Oh
France.
my
That's why I got the opportunity to do it here with such big
Amazing.
stars.
Yes.
Wow.
And so a lot of people prefer the French version. I have a big tenderness for the American version as well,
Mhm,
because I
mhm.
loved Demi so much,
Mhm.
and I loved Miley so much.
Yes.
And all the crew, I stayed very friend with Lina Esco was there
Mhm.
too. And I mean, I'm still friends with most of them
Amazing.
today.
That's great.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's
Right. Oh my
fantastic.
gosh.
And it was such a great experience. But unfortunately, the movie didn't go out in theaters here.
Mhm.
Okay.
And there was not Netflix at that time.
Mhm.
So it stayed on Netflix, down it's on Amazon, Netflix,
Oh, yeah.
everywhere. It's
And you
everywhere.
still
course,
see it.
yeah.
You still see
Yeah,
it
it's
everywhere.
it's a classic
Oh
here.
yeah.
Yeah.
You
We're
see
probably
that
gonna go
everywhere.
see it again
I-
just because we spoke
Literally,
about
Yeah.
it.
we have to because we didn't know until you told us it was based on you. So I'm just like, oh my
We just
God.
want to envision your life
Yes.
through that
Yeah.
Now that
movie.
we got a
So now we
Any
get to see
movie
it.
of mine, you can know
Oh my
who I am.
God. Oh my God.
You know, I was like, anyway, I'm living this life. Let's give it to whoever is interested in sharing my life.
Yes.
And I know the more I share my life, the better people feel about
Mhm.
themselves because they're
Yes.
like, okay, so I'm not so strange or I'm not, it's
Mhm.
being very personal makes you very universal.
Mhm.
And this is what
Absolutely.
I like in telling my stories.
Yes, yes.
Love that.
And I would agree. Aloha was one
Yeah.
of the main. And what about the other two?
Yeah.
What would you say?
I would say Dalida because
Mhm.
she was an enormous singer in France.
Okay.
She was one of the biggest star, and I did the movie from 1935 to 1988, 87, where she committed suicide. So
Oh wow.
basically, it's the movie of a woman who had everything. She was the most successful singer. She was like amazing, the best voice, amazing story. But she was so lonely. Nobody would really love her. Her three lovers committed suicide. She tried to commit suicide 3 times.
My goodness.
And at the end, she managed. And
Mm.
basically, I did a movie about suicide, but also an amazing life.
Mm.
And she left a note when she died, and she said, "Please forgive me, life is unbearable." And when I realized now, because I'm almost about the same age, I realized she was going through menopause, and menopause can lead women to suicidal, thinking, ideas, everything. Because the hormones is really what directs our lives.
Yes.
True.
And I learned this in America because we don't talk about this in France yet.
Got it.
Mhm.
Okay.
And I realized that she was not well, at that time in the 80s, you had menopause, you were finished, you were
Mhm.
done, even though you were a great star. And she couldn't, handle it, hormone. She didn't have a kid because she got an abortion against her will and she got destroyed.
Wow.
And all these things. It was also talking about not being a mother
Mhm.
and also about how you cope with the stardom and suicide and all these things. And it was also a way for me to talk about my mom, who was as big a singer as that.
Wow.
Wow.
Those are
Yeah.
some very big challenges. I mean, people speak about it a lot in America, so I can see how the challenges are out there in
Yeah.
different countries.
Mhm.
Because here there's a lot of freedom and passion into
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
Like I even think the equality between men and women is so much more open
Mm.
here. Everybody wants to have equal rights. So I can see how it might be challenging, but you made a movie that kind of captured, those problems people have, the
Yeah.
females have,
Yes.
and you were able to explain it in a way where people can understand.
And even a connection to your mom, it just makes it so much more
Yeah.
of a feel to the movie. Even just like the Alual movie, having that connection with you, and then you're actually directing it.
Mhm.
I mean, that's just so incredible that
Amazing.
you could go out there and do that.
It's
with your
just,
own story.
I was proposed that it came in a very incredible way. I mean, I feel, and I kind of have this almost like the proof that she chose me because I wasn't supposed to direct it. I wasn't supposed to do it. And one day I talked to a medium and she says, "Oh, Dalida is thanking you for doing her movie." And I was like, well, first,
No
she's
way.
dead. And second, I'm not doing it because the rights are being, bought by somebody else.
Oh, I see.
And I'm not going to fight. And, that's her idea. That's not my idea. And she says, "Oh, she doesn't want this person. It's going to be you. And in 3 years." I was like, yeah, sure, And 3 years after, like day per
No
day,
way.
they came back with the right, say, "Okay, we didn't manage with this woman. Can you do it again? Can you do it?"
Wow.
And then I was like, "Okay, I'll do it."
Oh
I
my
was,
God.
you know.
Kind of ready.
But it's it's funny because about equal rights, I know we all talk about equal
Yes.
rights, but I don't see how you can have equal rights when you don't have equal hormones.
Mm.
Mhm.
Mm.
It's
Mhm.
so, and you don't know it until you go through hormonal changes,
Yes.
Absolutely.
Right.
and you don't really realize. You think, yeah, I'm as strong as, or I'm as
Yes.
vulnerable as, or whatever.
Yes.
But no, hormone is before the heart beats in a fetus.
Mm.
Did you know that?
Yes.
Wow.
It's
Yes, yes,
crazy
yes.
what hormones do.
Oh my
Wow.
God,
And we
yes.
are not equal in hormones. So
Mhm.
we have to find a way to navigate the inequality of hormones. And then maybe we'll find a better way to be in equality in like real life. Because
Yes.
Hormonal life is the real life.
Yeah.
It's like,
Literally.
whoa.
Yes. We're going
Wow.
through some all right now.
Yeah,
Oh
so
my
I
God.
so you know what I'm talking
Yes,
about. It's
exactly,
like
exactly.
crazy.
Oh my
And which would have
gosh.
been your third one, their third movie?
So third one is difficult because
Mm-hmm.
it's like Sophie's choice. I don't want to throw anybody.
Oh my
Right.
goodness.
I know. We're
Okay,
all
maybe
like,
we'll skip it.
we're all like,
Well, maybe we won't say
no,
what it
but
is.
No,
you know, I
yeah.
love all my movies. That's
yes,
the thing.
yes,
And
Understood.
yes.
there, one was like a kind of a disaster. Not a disaster, but it didn't bring any money. It's called Quantum Love, and I love
Okay.
this movie because I'm talking about love and what it can be in your head and what it can be in reality. And it's like I thought it was very elegantly made, but
Mhm.
maybe a little bit too soon for quantum physics in
Mm.
love.
I
You know,
just
Mm.
felt that. I
you know,
just
it's
felt
like
that. Yes.
quantum physics is just beginning to be a
Right.
topic now, and in
Right.
2014 it wasn't really the thing.
Got
Right.
it.
And
And even the name now compared to 2014, right now, this name was all over. It would be all over
yeah.
because that's what all,
Yeah,
it's starting
yeah.
Every-
now.
And you know, I did this movie. My latest movie is called I Love America because I wanted to pay tribute to America, which I love so much.
Oh my god, amazing.
And I was living here, and my mom passed away like the year I came here to live.
Got it.
And
Mhm.
this movie is for me to also show the road of forgiveness to somebody who clearly abandoned me
Mhm.
and didn't treat me well as a kid, but also gave me so much. So it was my journey of healing and forgiving, and I think it's a
Mhm.
very interesting movie for
Oh my
that.
gosh, I
And
cannot
it's-
wait
Wow.
to see this.
It's on
Like,
Amazon.
oh my
for
god,
people.
we're
Oh,
gonna
it's already
probably
there.
watch it
Okay,
tonight.
perfect.
Like, I
Okay,
literally
let's
feel it.
watch it
And we're gonna
tonight.
send you a picture.
I love America.
Oh my god, I love America. Like, oh my gosh, and
Yeah.
the story behind it is just
Yeah.
so epic. You would
I
think,
know.
you know, it's gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna watch a movie about America.
Yeah.
But there's so much more deep into that. What you just explained is just, oh my goodness.
And it was funny because at that time Trump was president already
Mm-hmm.
when I wrote it, and people were like, "Oh, that's so nice. You love America because I know we have Trump. This is horrible. Blah blah blah." You know, and I was saying at that perfect moment, I was saying, "I still love America. I
Yes.
love America."
Yes.
And you know, it's funny that now he's back, and
Yeah.
that you know, it's like
Oh my
America
God.
again.
Yes.
It's funny. All I mean,
Goodness.
the story of America is very fascinating for
Mhm.
me.
Mm, I
And,
love,
love
that.
that.
know.
I love that you have the interest in it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Not only are these your top three, you're actually working on a movie documentary right now, which
Yeah.
I believe it's like the perfect time for this type of documentary for the whole world. And I believe the documentary is Consent.
Yeah.
And is there any way you can give us a little bit on this?
Oh, I can even send
Oh,
you
wow.
the. It's a one minute trailer.
Oh
and
my
you're
God,
gonna-
please.
I'll send it to
We'll-
you, and
oh
I'll
my
make
God.
it, and I'll make it
Okay.
subtitles in English.
That
Ooh,
would
I
But
love
be
that.
great. That would be
basically,
great.
you know, I went because I was watching about all this Me Too movement. You know, I'm the one who produced Free the Nipple, so I'm like the one who started
oh my
with
gosh,
my
I
friend
didn't
Lina
know
Esco.
that. Wow.
The movement Free the Nipple. I
Yes.
produced. I gave all my money of
Wow.
LOL went on Free the Nipple.
That was one of
Oh,
the
wow.
biggest things going on
Yeah.
in the Me Too movement.
Yeah.
That was like one of the
So,
major.
I consider myself like I'm the one who, you know, threw the
Yes.
bombs, and you know, I was like,
Yes.
yeah, man,
Yeah. Mhm.
women, what
Mhm.
happens, and you know, so I produced Free the Nipple, and I was very involved in all the feminist world,
Wow.
and I was like, we need to have equality, like you say, and blah blah blah, and then Me Too happens, and I see Harvey Weinstein, and I'm like, wait a minute, I was in Cannes Film Festival all years, and everybody was like, this is the king of the
He's
show,
the guy.
you know.
He's the
Mhm.
guy.
And I see the documentary about Harvey Weinstein, and I'm like, wait a minute, this guy is not like the bad pupil of a good system. He's the good pupil of a bad system.
Mm.
You know, he's
Okay.
been covered by the entire
Right.
industry, system, capitalism, you name it. So I'm like, what happens? I'm not going to shame this guy.
Mhm.
I'm going to shame the system that made this guy who he is.
Mm.
Because at the end of the day, he was just maybe a fat guy in the school who couldn't have any girls and who wanted to fuck girls, you know?
Mhm,
Right.
mhm.
And I have compassion for that
Mhm.
because, you know, not everybody is Brad Pitt. I
Okay.
wish everybody was Brad Pitt.
You know.
By the way,
Yeah.
Brad, if you
Exactly.
listen to me, okay. I would
Right,
love to
right.
meet
We love you, Brad.
We love you, Brad.
love
But,
you.
you know, and Harvey Weinstein is not Brad
Brad
Pitt, you
Pitt,
know?
yes.
But he wants to have the same girls as Brad
Mm.
Pitt.
Mhm.
So he's doing all this crazy shit. And suddenly I see the documentary and I'm like, what is in this system that is so rotten that it covers a guy like that? And I go
Right.
into the system, and at the end of the road, what I discover is horrible, but it's the truth, is that consent is the enemy of profit,
Mm.
you know? So everybody can, say, oh, we want consent, me too,
Wow.
blah, blah, blah.
Wow.
Everybody wants profit. That's the truth. And profit
Wow.
is the enemy of consent. So we need to choose, because you don't make any profit today if everybody consents. There's no,
True.
it's going to be sharing, it's going to be, growth, it's going to be thrive, but it's not going to be profit.
Mhm.
And you need to choose if we want a consented world or if we want a profitable world. We need to choose. And this is now. This is happening now.
That
And-
is so now, and such a
Yeah.
hard.
And that's my documentary. I'm
Wow.
looking for money, by the way.
Okay,
Ah.
let's go. And it's called Consent.
Consent,
So
yeah.
And it's already available.
No, it's not, because
Not
I
yet, okay.
want to do I want to do a great movie about that,
Amazing.
because I studied economics, I studied movies, obviously, I want to relate our sexual behaviors, which is basically penetrate without consent very often,
Right.
and capitalism, which penetrates the soul, the markets, everything without
Oh my
consent.
gosh.
Wow.
It's not because you accept cookies that you consent, that's
Wow.
basically.
Wow.
So I want to make it like, can we not penetrate without consent, but maybe more welcome abundance and create abundance,
That's a
and
very
not
strong.
penetrate without consent.
Wow.
I mean,
That's
that
my-
message is so
That
strong.
is powerful.
Yeah.
So you're also, aside from that, you're also, I believe you also have your own podcast.
Yeah.
So how did you get inspired in doing that? Because obviously we've been doing our podcast for
Yes.
some time now, and we love interviewing people. And we actually use this as a tool to get more knowledge.
Yeah.
We get to learn
And
more
connect
from
with
each other.
energies, and just connecting with you is just so powerful. But definitely, what
But it's-
started your podcast?
But it's being in the U.S. that I love Mel Robbins' podcast. I listen to
Love
Joe
him.
Rogan. I
Oh,
listen
love
to
him.
Brené Brown. I
Yes.
listen to
yes.
all these people.
Eli
and I-
Mike.
Yeah.
Next Eli Mike.
Exactly.
Right.
It looks like Elon Musk, but it's Elon Mike.
There you
Yeah,
go.
there
I
you
love
go.
Like, so
that.
funny.
Yes. I
And
love that. But yes.
but I was inspired by all those podcasts in those last 5 years that I was listening to, and I said, there's a lot of great French podcasts, but
Mhm.
I was like, you know what? People always tell me I have a voice. They love talking to me.
Yes.
So why wouldn't I share? This is another way of me to share stories, that
Mhm.
like you want to meet me, I want to meet you, and something is happening, something real,
Yes.
even though there's camera and everything,
Right.
but
Yes.
we have a moment.
Yes.
Although I don't know who you are, I know one
Mhm.
is have blue hair, the
Right.
other has
You
pink
know.
hair, but
Right.
that's about it.
Right.
Exactly,
And I know you're
exactly.
doing many things, and I
Thank
can't
you.
imagine being like
Mhm.
in reality, in how do you say, real estate
Oh,
and
yes.
podcast
Oh,
and
right.
fashion and everything that you
Influence
do.
it. No, yes.
I kind of love it,
Mhm.
And in France, you're in a silo. You're either or.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
And
I
here
see.
you end. It's more
Right.
quantum physics
Yes.
here. And in France, it's either or all the time. And I
Mm.
can't be that person.
Got
you know?
it.
And from here, you're able to reach them and
Yeah.
be as many as you want to be.
Yeah.
Just like you're the director, the producer, screenwriter.
You're like
if
the
you-
pioneer. You're the
yeah,
pioneer
like,
out.
oh my gosh.
And I love not a lot of like famous people. I'm a little bit more famous in France. And have their own podcast in France.
Mm.
Mhm.
Not
Right.
a lot of them.
Yes.
And I was like, you know what? People always want to have my opinion, and I love to have other people's opinion. And sometimes I confront people, and I don't agree with them. I would love to have more people that I don't agree with, but not to fight like
Of course.
those horrible fights on TV or whatever to make
Right.
more money, or no, just to say, okay, the art of conflict,
Right.
the art of arguing, the art,
Yes.
not the the
Aggressive.
Facebook, Instagram,
Mhm.
like I hate, I like, I
Exactly.
hate, I like.
Yes.
No,
Swipe.
I mean
Right.
the word
Yeah.
is like 50, shades of like hate,
Yeah.
something like that.
Mhm.
I love that. So
Yes.
so what's the next journey for you? So you
Oh.
accomplished a lot and when you consider everything that's been against you, from
Yes.
birth all the way to where you're at today,
Yes.
and the challenges that you've overcame and all these things you've created for
Yeah.
youth and adults for them to be entertained but also gain knowledge. What's the next thing? Let's just say if you were to align yourself, you're how old you said you're 52?
9.
59. So you're 59.
You look amazing.
You look amazing.
Gosh.
So what do you see yourself in your 60s? What's the next thing in store
Well,
for
it's
you?
in 1 year. So
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Next year.
I see myself pretty soon in my 60s. It's here.
Mhm.
Well, I wish somebody had told me when I was 20 years old that being 60 is great, you know, because I was always worried, oh my God, I have to do this because I'm going to be old and then I can't do it. And then, no, it's not true. Life is not going somewhere there. Life is not a coming out, it's a coming in. That's what I think, you know.
Wow.
And coming in, it's better if the road is clear and nice, and you know, so I've worked a lot so that my coming in is smooth. And I know I have a lot of stuff to do again, but my big concern today is teenagers. I mean, LOL is my, you know, tribute to teenagers.
Yes.
And I see 25% higher rates of suicide in teenagers.
Yeah.
I'm very concerned. They took so much medicine so early. They have, you know, the social media is so strong against their poor little mind that is not yet formed. You know, a teenager is considered until 25. So from age, let's say they have their first cell phone, age 10, you know, 100% of 10 years old see porn.
You're right.
And it's not like how mom and dad used to love themselves. It's something more violent.
Most
Right.
definitely.
So I'm very concerned by sexuality so hardcore and love so not there anymore. You know, at my time, we had Out of Africa, Pretty Woman.
Yes.
We had all these kind of movies that were love story. Today's tell me a love story. I'm so happy that Anora is getting so much good review because it's a love story. And I was hearing Sean Baker saying, you know, where are those movies? Where are they?
Exactly.
And he's doing
Wow.
them, and I want to do them, you know,
Oh my
here.
gosh.
I would love, you know, my big thing would be to do I Love America, that America loves me too. That would be
That'd be part. That's like a
because
part
I would
two.
give so much to America.
Yeah.
You know?
that's-
So that would be my big dream, and I would give so much to American teenagers who seem to be so apart between the one who want this and the other one who want that, and the one who have this opinion and the other. I mean, stop it. And you know, we're all so vulnerable.
Yes.
And I think, you know, equality is not being as strong or as powerful, is being as vulnerable. And if equal rights is more equal vulnerability for me. That's what it is.
And I love this so much. I just have a question about this because
Yeah.
I feel like the person you were talking about stating, you know, where are these movies? Where is the culture? Where is the real love that used to be here in America?
The streamers really did a lot of harm to those movies.
Because that's what my question was going to be.
So I want them to come back, and they are coming back because they realize that there is a need for people just to connect with love stories.
Yes, it's so important. There's not anything like that today, and if you're the person that would bring it back, that would be such an honor.
Trust me, you hire me, you're gonna have so many love stories. You're gonna
right.
No,
which is what we need.
We need a couple more.
Yeah, just you know, love is in the air. That's the name of my company.
I love that.
Oh my God!
And it spells out Lisa, so it's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, Lisa, we really appreciate you coming down here from Los
me too,
Feliz.
so much.
Los Feliz.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming out here. And honestly, where can people find you? Obviously, everybody knows where to find her movies. Where can people find? Is it right here, Lisa Azuelos? Is your Instagram?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, perfect. So they can find you there. And obviously, are you on any other platforms or?
Like, how do we reach out to you so we could fund some of these movies? Anybody out there?
I know, I'm so bad. I tried a
a
Kickstarter. I did the trailer, then I put it on Instagram. And then I tried to do the Kickstarter, and then something went wrong. So I was like, okay, I just did a trailer for nothing. It's okay.
Oh, no. Send us
But
a trailer. We'll post
Oh my
it.
gosh,
Okay.
yeah, let's figure this out.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we need to
With
figure out how to
pleasure.
make this go
Yeah,
viral.
absolutely.
But
Oh
it's
my
not only
gosh.
money, you know. I just want to have somebody who trusts me and who says,
Yes.
okay, I believe in you.
Yes.
Let's give you like 2 years. Let's see what you can
Definitely.
create here.
Definitely.
That would be my dream.
I love
Wow.
that.
Yeah.
And you know, one person.
But it's
that
not
we-
money.
Uh-huh.
It's being with somebody who trusts me.
Right.
love
And
that.
I have to say this person because David,
Yeah.
who referred you to us,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
so amazing. He's one of these people that you could trust, the energy.
Yeah.
And we just
Mhm.
have to give a shout out to him because he is one of those people.
Yeah.
And I know we are one of those people. Now we know you're one of those people.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how good people always end up in the same room. I always say
Always.
that. And
it's like, the manifestors.
Yes.
And
Yes.
all we want is manifest something for the greater good, maybe, or or if there's bad, we'll handle it too.
Wow.
I love
That's
that.
so powerful.
Well, our message to you is we believe in you.
Okay,
And
thank you so
we
much. I'm
cannot
gonna
wait.
do this
America
too
loves
because
you. Oh
America
my
loves
God.
you.
I
America
love
loves
doing
you.
this too because
Thank
it's a
you.
prayer. It's a thank
Yes,
you,
right.
and basically this is presence.
Yes. Oh
Yeah.
my
There you
God.
go.
So I've been practicing presence.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I love
So you
it
guys
so
can
much.
practice
Thank
presence
you.
too. Truly appreciate you guys. Expect a couple of reels out.
Yeah.
Definitely on YouTube. And Lisa, thank you so much for being
Thank
here
you
with us.
so much.
So
Thank you.
honored.
Appreciate
Thank
you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.